Hey guys, Kev here, and I am back from Blade Show. So, I wanted to talk about. Let me just pull this branding off. Sorry. Um, I wanted to talk about my experience this weekend and just kind of go over it. I'm not going to really show knives. I might show a couple. So if you're here to see the haul, I'll do another desktop video showing everything I picked up. And I got a few things. Then I brought home a few things for other people, some of which may or may not cost thousands of dollars. So if you want to see that video, it's coming. Okay. I also will be doing a probably pretty big knife sale video because I picked up a lot of stuff. You know me, I'll probably sell a lot of it. I also have stuff that I've been wanting to sell, but waiting for the time. So I'll probably do one big knife sale video in the near future. So keep your eye out for that if you're interested in any of the stuff I picked up at Blade Show or that I already have. All right. So first, I went down with my buddy Joe, his son Zach, and his friend, my buddy's friend Rob. Rob is not a knife guy. Rob wanted to take a little trip for the weekend, and he's a big fan of The Walking Dead. So he had some stuff playing while we were down there. He borrowed my truck, and he came along. So I got to meet Rob. I've known Joe and his son Zach for a bit over a year now. I actually met them almost a year ago. I was planning to go on a trip down to the beach, and I was selling my haptic, and Joe was going to buy it. I don't know where he found me, on Reddit or Instagram or something. And he hit me up. Turned out he was local. I got sick, couldn't go on the trip. We were going to actually grab a beer while we were there. Never ended up happening because we got sick and I didn't go. So I sold it and sent him the knife. And from then on, we started just meeting up locally, having lunch, showing knives, hanging out. He let me borrow knives for content. I helped him sell knives. We've become what I would consider very good friends. Joe, I love you, brother. And his son, Zach, who I would also consider a friend, is a great dude. He just graduated high school. Or he is graduating high school like this week. We actually got back for him to take his finals today on Monday. So shout out to Zach. Congratulations, dude. His dad, Joe, picked him up a Rosie at the show as a graduation gift. So I do want to say I've heard a lot of stuff about Oz and how dealers gobbled everything up and only 2 people got stuff or whatever. I heard something like that. I know of at least 5 or 6 people that I interacted with at Blade Show who bought one. They got in line and they bought one. So you just had to get in line quick enough. Like my buddy Joe had one of our exhibitor passes. I got him and Zach one, but they didn't get in earlier. They actually did not get in earlier than Early Bird. Early Bird got in at 10. They weren't allowed to even help us at the table until 10:15. So, but Saturday is when everybody got their Rosie. That's when they went and jumped in line at like 8 in the morning or whatever, and it opened at 9, and they got one. I mean, I know Bob Poncho got one, that old bastard. He's still walking around on a cane, kicking it at Blade Show. He put a dinner together on Thursday night that I was at, which was really cool. I got to meet Brian Brown there. I got to meet the dude. I did not catch his name. He's the guy behind Avian Knives, that knife that you can disassemble without tools. Looks really, really cool. He had some there to sell at Blade. So I know Jake Bearded Gear picked one up, which is cool. But yeah, I got to hang out with Israel again from Arcane Design at that dinner, which was cool. But let me go back. So we drove down Wednesday. We drove about 9 hours. I drove the whole way there and back. I have this thing where like I just have to be the one driving. I don't know. But we drove to right next to Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Stayed at a hotel, literally like 2 feet away from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Stayed the night. I jumped in the pool there. It was awesome. And then went to Smoky Mountain Thursday morning, walked around. Parker showed up. He's the guy behind Rocky Top Customs. If you need any mod work done, I think I have his card. I have a couple of them. So if you need any mod work done, hit up. Is that backwards? I think it's only for me that it's backwards, hopefully. Sorry. Anyway, you can scan that QR code. It's just at RockyTop_customs on Instagram. He does cool mods for all types of knives. He'll do whole mods, Cerakote, stuff like that. And he came to Smoky Mountain. He lives in Knoxville, I believe. And we got to walk around with him. Great dude. It was a pleasure. If you're watching this, Parker, thank you for coming out, man. I really appreciate you making the trip to meet us and showing us around, because Smoky Mountain Knife Works is huge, guys. It is. And he showed us around, and it was just great to chat with him for 20, 30 minutes and hang out. So that was awesome. But I gotta say, I was very underwhelmed with Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I think it comes from the fact that I am into the more bougie stuff, right? I like, fancy knives. Like, finally got my FSD back at Blade Show because Jared Neve had it. And I had him send it to Colin because Colin lives in Atlanta. So then I got to pick it up at Blade and take it home. And I was rocking this. And I also got back my Rosie from Colin. I let him borrow it. He got one at the show. Like I said, he went and waited in line. And he got one. Yes, he had an exhibitor pass, but he got it on Saturday. And was it Saturday? Yeah, he got it on Saturday, I think. And he might have got it on Friday. I don't remember. But we paid $700 for that table. So if somebody wants to go wait in line and buy a knife, I think that's their right. I personally felt weird doing it, so I didn't do it. But I don't really think that's like a negative on anybody who has an exhibitor pass and goes over and buys something right at 10 or whatever. You still got to wait in line. There's other people doing it, and you paid to be there. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I was playing with those two like the last half of the ride home. Like, I had some stuff I bought at Blade at first, and then I transitioned to those two like the rest of the way. So glad to have those back. Also, if you can't tell, my voice it's a lot better today, but I lost it Friday. Like, at the end of the day, Friday, I was already losing my voice. Like, the end of the show. Then we went to the pit that night and we hung out. I don't drink or anything, but it was still really fun. And we also went Thursday night and met up with Sinister Knife, Steve Duke, great dude. And we met him at a dinner that we went to, and shout out to the old man. And we went to the pit, and he goes and he buys a beer, and he comes back with a beer and a Truly, and he hands me the Truly, and he's like, "Here, dude." He's like, "I got you a seltzer," and I was like, "Thanks, dude. Like, I'm not gonna drink this. Like, it's not that I can't. It's that I don't drink, right?" So I'm like, I'm not gonna drink this. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I got you a seltzer." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a hard seltzer." He didn't realize it had alcohol in it. And he's like, "Ah, shit." So then he ended up drinking a fucking Truly. It was hilarious. But thanks for the gesture, dude. It was awesome. So anyway, yeah, Smoky Mountain was underwhelming. It's just not anything. There was like a couple of Microtechs. There were some really cool Heretics that I liked. I think one was the Medusa and one was the something else. And they had fat carbon. They were automatic out the sides. They were really sick. And if I was into autos like that and shit, I would have picked one up because they were just sexy as all get out. But other than that, they had a couple of Medfords, and that was it, They had a lot of Case and Buck and Schrade and Boker and Rough Rider and shit like that I just don't get into, right? and that's fine. You know, they had a little Spyderco booth. They were working on a bigger display. Then they had Benchmades and stuff, but nothing new. I don't know. It just wasn't for me, but it was cool to walk around. And I did end up buying 2 things. I bought 2 stuffed animals for my kid. I got a little porcupine and I got an owl stuffed animal, and she loves them already. So I'll win that one. So thanks, Smoky Mountain, for that. But I get it. It's more for like your average knife guy. I don't think it's for the enthusiast. It's for the average knife guy who, you know, buys Spyderco, Benchmade, Buck, that kind of stuff, which is cool. Like, I'm not throwing shade. It's just not my style. So it was a little underwhelming. I don't know what I expected, but there was one Riot in the building. It was in a case, and it was kind of fugly. And then they had a whole room of gas station knives. Not fucking kidding you. There was a room of gas station knives, M-Techs, and whatever the hell else. I found the Shadow Ranger. They had the Shadow Ranger there for sale. Now, it was only like $8.50, so it was a good deal. But, like, I don't know what the hell they were doing. So we did that, and then we got off to Atlanta quick, right? So we went in at 10, and we were gone at 11:30 probably. And then we drove to Atlanta. We got to Atlanta, got to the hotel. I ended up, because my Airbnb didn't, the place wasn't ready till Friday. So it was going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. But what I needed was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? So I just got a room where my buddy was staying. He offered to let me sleep on the couch there, but it was 4 dudes in a room. I was just like, fuck this. So I expensed it. And oh, no, I didn't. I actually paid for it myself. Never mind. So I got a room at Sheridan that night. And then I went to this dinner. That was awesome. It was really fun. And then went to the pit for a little bit. And that was Thursday night. Then got up early Friday, went in, met Colin. Well, I actually met Colin Thursday night at the dinner. So that was when I first met Colin. First time I actually met my business partner in person. Like, it's crazy, right? We've been doing this for, you know, most of this year at this point, and we've never met, you know, and we've been working on shit since, you know, end of summer last year, I feel like, early fall. So it's crazy to not have met some of these people in person, you know. It's crazy. The internet is amazing. So yeah, we set up. We have we had a banner that goes off the table up and over. It has Devo knives, really, really nice, I think. And we had a nice tablecloth. Colin put together some frames with printouts of each knife we had there, because we brought 3. We brought stout prototypes from QSP. We had a couple from Kunwu, the prototypes of the stout. Then we had 3 pimped out stouts. We had those for auction. There was the blue Captain America stout that the Knife Modders did. So the Knife Modders did all the sick mods on these. They did a blue one with bark pattern, and it was just fantastic. We auctioned that one on Friday, and it went for $600. Some guy was like, hey, wrote down 6. He like outbid everybody by $300 and was like, I'm going to be leaving at like 4. So like right at 4, we were like, call that guy. And he came, he bought that one. So he got that one. Then we had a green and purple stout. We called it the Hulk Stout. That one, we had a high bid. It wasn't like, it wasn't higher than the other one, but we could not get a hold of the people that bid for it. I tried emailing, and we made a mistake. Now we know for next time. We learned our lesson. You need to ask for a cell phone. We just put email, name and email in the auction. So like next time, cell phone, so we can call them. That was dumb, right? We didn't think about it. So we still have that one. I don't know what we're going to do with it. But I tried to contact the next guy, nothing. So like, it's probably because our emails are going to their junk, because it's coming from Devo Knives, right? I don't know. So we may auction that one on Instagram. I don't know. You guys let me know. That's the one with the stonewashed mirror polish that the Knife Modders did, and the purple and green anode, calling it the Hulk Stout. It has the copper carbon fiber. I mean, it's freaking sick, dude. Like, I was surprised we didn't get higher bids on that one. But anyway, so we still have that one. And then we had a purple one, a Kunwu prototype they pimped out in purple and black. We called that the Hawkeye Stout. And that one we gave away. So we had a little QR code. And all you had to do was sign up for our newsletter on our website, and you had the chance to win that stout. And one of the people that was staying at my Airbnb was Freak Show EDC, Jeremy and his wife. And I think her name's Chrissy. I'm really sorry if I get that wrong. I am terrible with names sometimes, and I just like the Instagram names are like the ones that, yo, Freak Show, like, so it's Mrs. Freak Show. We had dinner, by the way. We had a great dinner at Grubhub one night. I drove them around the entire Atlanta area because I was trying to go to one place. Turned out it was at the Braves ballpark, and I was like, fuck this. So I kept driving. They were following us, just like, what the fuck is Lefty doing? And I went to Grub Burger. We went there twice on the trip, but it was fantastic. So shout out to you guys. It was a great dinner. But she was all over this purple stout. Like, she's came back 3 times a day, like, oh, can't wait for this to be mine and all this shit, right? And Sunday we drew the winner, and boom, it was her. It was fucking hilarious. So she won the stout. She came and picked it up. I was already gone, but she seems really happy with it. And you know what? That's what it matters to me, is that somebody got it who really wanted it and cares about it, and made the trip and all that good stuff. So congratulations, Mrs. Freak Show, for the purple stout. I hope you enjoy it. It was a good piece. They did a good job on that. And then we had prototypes. So we had the Mash, which is our titanium frame lock, reverse Tanto looking knife. Kubi did the prototypes on those. We only had 2. We had a satin version and a reverse tux version. And it was pretty popular. I think people were really liking that knife. I really liked the design. I enjoyed the prototypes. I don't have one here. I left the one we had with Colin. I actually sold one to somebody who really wanted it. And here's the thing. I was not impressed with the prototypes. So Kubi did the Mash and they did the Growler. We did the Growler with 2 OEMs. So this is why I do this sometimes. Like with the stout, we did QSP and Kunwu. I do that because I want to have a better shot at getting a good one, right? If one OEM fucks up, I don't have to like waste all this time getting another prototype made or whatever. Hopefully one of them scores, right? And that's what happened with the Growler. We got the prototypes from Shieldon and Kubi. I don't know if you've ever heard of Shieldon Knives. It's a newer OEM, a newer brand. They have their own knives. They're an offshoot of Kaiser. So people from Kaiser, just like Concept, there's an offshoot, and they created Shieldon Knives. And you know what? They're hungry, man. They want to put good product out there. They want to do OEM projects. So they put their best foot forward, and they made the Growler prototypes. And I am really loving this knife. We definitely have some changes to make, but that's what you do with prototypes. But all in all, they killed it. I'm absolutely in love with this. Some of the changes we're going to make are either roll the edges, so contour all the edges so it's rounded, not so flat, or we'll just contour the whole handle. We're going to figure out what works best with them. We haven't even talked with them yet. They did not do the reversible clip, so this will be reversible in production. Yeah, you're going to have 2 holes there. I don't care. I'm lefty. We need to have the lefty brethren be able to carry their knife. We're going to make sure it's a D-shaped pivot because they cut the scale for it, but they actually used a spinning pivot in here, which would not be good. And then I think we're going to do a stonewashed and a blackwash blade. This is a satin, and it's just a little too shiny. And we really want this to be a knife that people can use and really work with. I know that's not my forte, but that doesn't mean I can't put a knife on the market that does that, right? I know what people want, and I know what I want. And even if I'm not going to hard use a knife, I think I know what would work in that scenario, if that makes sense. So that's what we want. So I think contouring is going to help make the ergonomics better for that situation. And then I think a stone wash and a black wash will make more sense on a user, if that makes sense, right? It's just a little too shiny. I do like the satin they did. Check it out. I got some Devo microfibers. These will be the ones that come with your stouts. If you pre-ordered one, they are big boys, 12 by 12. Very nice microfiber cloths. This is exactly what I wanted. Something that people wouldn't just put in the box, in the pouch, and throw in the thing. You're going to want to use this. You know what I mean? When I do maintenance, I love these types of cloths. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Really nice satin. It's just a little too shiny in my opinion. So yeah, so we'll change that and possibly add some lock bar access. It's pretty good, but I wouldn't mind a little bit more because I did slip out a couple times when I first got it. But the action, I mean, the detent is on point. I mean, this is after me taking it apart. Maybe this might be one I took apart. I took one apart and then I Loctited it, got it where I wanted it. But they're all like this. We had one that had a little bit of a lighter detent. So Shieldon actually made 6 prototypes. Fucking crazy, dude. Usually you get 2, you know what I mean? So we had one that had a little bit of a lighter detent, but all of them were just on point. And basically drop shut. Like, you know, you give it a little bit of encouragement and it's going. I mean, and this is going to be a budget knife, guys. The plan on this is black micarta, 14C28N, $100. That's our goal. Whether that's $100 with your White Mountain Knives code or not, we'll see. This is going to be a White Mountain Knives exclusive. So you will see the growler at White Mountain Knives is what I'm saying. You'll probably be able to use code LeftyEDC at checkout. So it should be right at $100 for that price point or for those materials. And I think that's pretty damn good. This is a flat grind, and I really wanted a hollow grind. Now, the Kubi prototype, which I might get on the channel at some point, I didn't bring one home because honestly, we were pretty set on Shieldon. Now, like I said, this is an exclusive with White Mountain Knives. So we are sending the prototypes to them and they're going to, give their input. It's not just on us. So things are subject to change. But right now, between Colin and I, we're pretty set on Shieldon. They're hungry. They want the work. They put their best foot forward. And I got to say, Kubi did not. I was pretty disappointed. I hate to say that, but I need to be honest and transparent with you guys. It's just how I do things. The knife was supposed to be 0.47 thick. That's how our design was. That's how our file was. As far as I know, that's how our last drawing was that we got. This one from Shieldon. .47 thick. The ones from Kubi were like 0.54. Like, they were insanely thick. It was a goddamn brick. Like, it was to the point where I picked it up and I flick it and I just didn't care about anything else. They did a great hollow grind. They did. The action was really good on them. But it just didn't really matter because they made it a brick for no reason. I can't think of a reason why it had to be that damn thick. Like, it was like that thick. It was insane. And then they also changed the backspacer design so that it came up and around further and then tucked the blade back. So it was like, it came like back to here. You know what I mean? And then the blade stopped. Like, it just, I think what they did was the blade was the same length, but they made the handle longer. So the blade to handle ratio looked all off. They do that on every knife apparently because the mash was like that. and I've seen it on Casey's knife, the pinion prototype. And then they also, I think, changed the blade shape because this is how it should be. And theirs was like more like Persian-y. It was weird. Like the belly, it just swept up more for some reason. So I just wasn't, that impressed. Then I handled one of these and I was like, damn, shielding, spitting fire. So really happy with these. So, we're going to reward the people who put their best foot forward, and it seems to be shielding. I'll do a desktop video on this guy. And I also, I gave one to Jared Neve. I gave one to Tri-State EDC, and we're sending one to the Knife Junkie Bob. Met all those people at Blade Show. Shout out to them. And I wanted to get their take on the knife. So they will all have one to give feedback on. Again, we already have some changes in mind, but yeah. So anyway, this is a flat grind, and I honestly wanted a hollow grind so bad. I always want a hollow grind, but you know what? On a knife that's going to be a user like this, and a knife that's this tall of a blade, it's freaking thin as hell. Like, look. It's not the thinnest stock. I mean, it's like 0.13, maybe 0.12, something like that. But the grind is so high. Dude, it is freaking razor thin at that tip or at that edge. I mean, it's my first time cutting with it, by the way. I was just trusting it. I literally knew it was going to be good. I think it's going to be a good user, guys. So keep your eye out for the growler. We're very excited to get these. We're going to probably just make those little changes and get the order in. And we're just ordering them, guys. There's no pre-order. Nope. These are going to get ordered. Hopefully 90-day production. Boom. They're going to be on whitemountainKnives.com. And you'll be able to pick yourself up a Devo Knives, White Mountain Knives exclusive growler. So that's the plan. All right. The MASH prototype. I don't have much to say about it. I love the design, but Kubi really did not deliver on that one either. One of them, the detent was non-existent. The other one was just acceptable. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't great, right? They did a great job on the grind, the hollow grind, and the finish, like the reverse tucks and the satin blade. Those looked good. The clip needs work, and maybe that's on us. We wanted it to mount on the end and be a bend over clip, kind of like on the Field Duty, so that it could be reversible and still look kind of good. We didn't want to just put a wire clip on it. We might go to the wire clip because I had one of the clips just pop off. Like the first time I handled the prototypes, I went to just move the clip a little bit because it's a very sort of thin titanium clip that you can bend a little bit. I just wanted to bend it to straight. And I barely pushed on it. It just went ka-ting. The screw head that was holding the clip in broke off because it mounted flush. So we got to figure something out with the clip. We put a new screw in and it was fine. It's probably better now with the new screw. It's a stronger screw. They did the same thing with the blade to handle ratio. They brought the handle out. And it just looks so bad on that, in my opinion. You could see where the reverse tanto kind of drops down and it goes into that final, whatever you call it, sweep down to the tip. And there is so much handle after that. It just looks wrong. So there's that. They were supposed to use a titanium liner lock with an insert. Is a steel liner, no insert. It was a steel backspacer, should have been titanium. Thing weighed a lot for the size. So there's just some things that we weren't super impressed with. When you pay for prototypes with an OEM for the first time, you would expect them to work and put their best product forward for you, right? Like on the stouts, QSP fucking killed it. They delivered 5. No, we ordered 4. They delivered 5 perfect prototypes, dead centered, great action, no crazy fucking issues. They look just like the drawing and the files and everything, right? Shielded. They delivered 6 great prototypes. and they cost less than what Kubi charges. Kubi quotes 30 days for prototypes. I sent Casey to them, Knives Fast, a month after we paid for our prototypes. He got his 3 weeks before I did. And I'm the one who Colin and I introduced him to Kubi to start the project. 30 days for prototypes. We paid in early March. We had to I had to hound them via email to get them in time for Blade Show. And we did. So give it that. But they're going to say we rushed them. It was 90 days on a 30-day quote. So whatever. If you can't tell, I'm not very happy. So anyway, Shieldon's probably going to be the Growler. We'll see. And the Mash, we got to figure some shit out. We might try to do a version 2 prototype with Kubi if they're open to the criticism, if they want to try to bounce back, but maybe they don't. Maybe they don't need our work. They don't need our business. They don't feel like that's, and I think some people would argue that sometimes the prototypes just aren't as good, and then in the production they do put their best foot forward. But if I've never worked with a company before, I can't just trust that, right? Like, I need those prototypes to be good. It's just that argument doesn't make sense to me. So we may look around for other OEMs. We may see if Shieldon wants to take a crack at the Mash. And we are technically working on a premium version of the Growler with a US OEM. So I have a deposit in for my spot. We'll see if that all works out. No promises, but guys, we're trying. Okay, we're fucking trying to do a lot of things right now. We have prototypes in the works with Best Tech on another model called the Buzz. And then we have the slip joint project we're working on with a retailer that is also in prototyping phase. So we got a lot of things going on, but we're hoping to bring you guys more shit soon, right? All right, so that's Devo, right? That's all that shit. I also I was staying with Tyler from Evolved EDC. Big shout out to you, brother. It was my first time meeting him. I've been chatting with him since last Blade Show when he was trying to hitch a ride with me. And I forget why it didn't work out. Probably because I didn't know him and I was like, fuck that. I don't really know, but so it was great to finally meet him. He has a cool design in the works that Best Tech is working on prototypes for. Keep your eyes out for the Evolved EDC knife. I think it's called the Sin with 2 ends. I can't remember. Sorry. I think it has a different name, like some crazy Greek name or something. But it looks sick. It's a sheep's foot blade. It's kind of got a double poon going on. Looks really good. Bolster lock. I think you guys will dig it. He's trying to nail the price point down to make it enticing for you. We had a conversation about that. And he's just a good dude. So I recommend checking him out, Evolved EDC. I also met up with Lewis from Addicted to Knives. My local buddy Lewis was there with Tyler. They flew down together because they couldn't drive with me because my truck was full. Next year, I think we're going to try to do something cool, like rent an RV or, I don't know, do something. I want to hopefully get a spot just at the Waverly Hotel where the event is. Just early book the hotel rooms and just be done with it, because such a pain, like Airbnbs and hotels and pulling your bags out every 5 seconds and then trying to get to the show in time. And if you're just there, it's just so much easier, right? But hung out with Lewis all weekend. Good dude. He bought a few knives. I think he picked up an MBK. I actually have his knives here because I drove them back up so that he could get them. I'm not sure what Tyler did. I guess he just packed them, or they might be in here too. I don't know. I have a whole bag of knives that I drove up for people that live locally, because they obviously couldn't with their flying. They either had to risk it in a check bag and pay for that, or mail them or whatever. So I just drove them up for everybody, and they can come pick them up, or we'll meet up for lunch. Okay, so the show, Coolest thing was right next to us. So we were at 18W. At 18Y was Luft Concepts. So Jake, Bearded Gear, and Ryan from Rimmer Designs were right next to us. It was fucking hilarious how that worked out. That was not planned in any way. It just fucking happened. So next year, if we both go and we both pay for a table, we should get the same table and we'll probably be right next to each other again. Unless one of us is balling out by then and wants to go get a booth or something. So it was awesome. They taught us some little tricks of the trade because they've been to a few shows now. They had these fucking kitchen mats, like the mats you stand on that are cushioned. They had those and we're standing on them. They're like, dude, these are game changers. Because they are, dude. My fucking feet hurt so bad because you're standing the whole show, right? Because if you're sitting, like you get chairs, but if you're going to sit the whole time, you're going to have people come to your booth and look down on you and you're sitting there. Like, it's just, to me, not professional. So, like, I had to be standing the whole time, engaging with people, having conversations, losing my voice. And that shit fucking hurts your ankles, dude. Like, just standing in place on concrete for 8-9 hours or whatever. So, definitely getting a mat next year or next time because we're going to Blade West, hopefully. So we hung out with them, which was awesome. The whole weekend, we just dicked around and joked around and had fun. Sadly, we didn't get to like have dinner or anything. There was a few people I wanted to do that with, and we just need to plan it ahead of time, you know? Yeah, and then we just had people come by, and guys, the reaction to the growler was amazing. People loved the growler. There was a lot of people loving on the mash too. But I think because this is a more affordable knife, or maybe the design is a little more, I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, I really love a sheep's foot blade, and that's what most of our designs are, but this is not, and maybe that's why. I don't know. But people freaking loved the growler. So I think it's going to be a popular knife, especially at the price point. So we were really, really happy with that. We did sell, I think, 1 or 2 prototypes because we had so many of the growlers. We definitely sold one of the Kubies. There was somebody who wanted one. And like I said, I wasn't all that impressed. So we had to have one to send to White Mountain Knives to check out. So we sold the other one, I think. And then maybe one of these, but it might have just been the ones I gave to those channels to check out. And then on Saturday, I wanted to go over to the CWF booth, which is the flashlights I'm really into. The Micro Arcadian, you guys might know, CWF, Charles Wiggins, and I wanted to check him out because he had a table there, and I'd heard he was there, and he had a sick Zerk flashlight, which if I had the cash, I totally would have bought. But he was so nice. I got to meet him, and he actually gave me this clip for this one. So I got this cool milled tie clip. And then I loved that so much, I bought a Zerku tie, or as he would say, Zerkudi, a Zerkudi clip. I love it. And man, is that gorgeous. I mean, holy shit, that's sexy, right? Just gives this knife gives this light such a pop of color. It's hard to see on this camera. I'm using my MacBook camera because I'm not planning on showing a bunch of stuff. But I love these flashlights, guys. They are the best flashlight on the market, hands down, in my opinion, of course. It's a 10-440 light, which is perfect. I don't need a fat ass light. I love the Okluma DC0. It looks good, or DCO, whatever. It's just too thick for me. I don't need a big old AA size light. This is a AAA size. He had to basically invent a clicky to work with it because notoriously they're not reliable for this size of light, but he made it work. I can tell you after having these for months that they're freaking fantastic. I love the reverse clicky, I think it's called. You push in, it turns on, then you cycle and click off. The Okluma is like a forward clicky where you have to cycle the, with you want medium, low, high, then click on. And then to cycle, I guess you have to click off again. I don't know. It's fun. I do not like that at all. So anyway, I met up with Charles and we ended up chatting for a while. He's a great dude. Shout out to you, Charles. Really, really cool dude. And he came over to the table and he bought some knives. So I sold him my Dylan Mallory Forrest. I'd been meaning to sell that. I love that knife. It was one of my knives of the year last year, but I just wasn't carrying it. I have what I would consider the premium version of the Forrest, the Evo 2.0, and I just, I'm going to carry this if I'm going to carry one, right? So I sold that, and I also picked up Dylan's other design at the show, the new Artisan, which I like a little better. Well, it's just new. So I sold him that, and then he bought two of our prototypes. He bought the Stout, one of the Kunwu prototypes we had there at the show. We sold him that, and then he was all over the MASH, right? Like he wanted a MASH prototype, the reverse tux one, so bad. Like he kept trying to buy it and whatever. And then at one point I offered him the satin one because I like the reverse tux one, and that was the one with the good D10. So I'm like, I don't want to sell that one. And he's like, well, this one matches my, EDC or whatever. So that's the one I want, whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, if we ever sell it, I'll let you know. When they come in, you can buy one. And overnight, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not that big of a fan of these. I don't need to. So I went back over there Sunday morning, and I went to pick this up because I had paid him that night. I sent him money for this clip. What I had a full light micro Arcadian with this clip. Oh my god! But it was like $1,100, and I didn't have that at the time, or I didn't want to spend it on that. And my biggest concern previously with his zirconia was the weight. You think Turkish is big news, I think, because it's all milled out. So I went there to clip up, and I sold things on me that day. And then I just his Blitz Show haul, and he had a PC. I was like, nice, dude. I don't know if I knew that because I can't remember the conversation I had. But that was cool. And I got to say, Charles is a great dude. Go check out CWF Lights on Instagram. Check out their website. He has drops occasionally. He sells through dealers and stuff. His lights are top notch, phenomenal, USA made, custom flashlights. So they're not cheap. This light was $425, and then the clip here I think was $200. So this $625 light right here, but it's worth it, guys. And it's programmable. I have this one, both of them. I have them set for 15 and 100%. So I just have 2 clicks. Boom. And you can change it to whatever. If you want fucking 8 selections, sure. So anyway, met Charles. That was fantastic. I met so many people, guys. I can't list them all, but I got to meet Sanford Owen and Ray Laconico of MBK. Both are great dudes. I cannot wait to get a Lefty custom Jasmine from Ray. He's, I think, going to make a batch of Lefties, which is so cool. I cannot wait to get a River Otter, I think it's called, the Warney version of the Sea Otter. That's going to be the new fucking hotness. I handled the prototype. Really, really good. You guys are killing it. In Sanford, I just love that dude, you know. And now Ray, because Ray's a great dude too. So that was cool to meet them. I didn't get to hang out with them too much. I got to meet John from EMP-EDC, and that was awesome. And his wife was there as well. And they are a fantastic couple, a really cool just story. I love the story, man. COVID hit, and he got, you know, laid off from his job, and he said, fuck it, I'm gonna live the dream. And he started working on the Nimble. He got a prototype, he did a pre-order, it did okay, but I guess it did well enough that he could fund it and maybe put his own money in and fund it. And he ordered the knives, and the Nimble was a hit. And ever since, it's been like crazy. He has 5 or 6 models now. Now the Nimble is the model, but there's like 4 or 5 variations. Then he has the thick boy. He has a couple new ones coming, and he's killing it. Like, you could not kill it any more than John from EMP-EDC is killing it. So, and his wife. So you guys are amazing. I truly, truly am inspired by you. And it was amazing to meet you guys. And next time we need to get dinner, we'll figure something out and plan it a little bit better. So it was awesome meeting them. Yeah, I mean, I got to hang out with Ben from Jack Wolf Knives. Justin from OCD for EDC was at the table, working the table with him this year. And, of course, got to hang out with Ben sort of in person for the first time. Last year at Blade is when I met him, but, like, you know, I wasn't, like, friends with him or anything. Now I 100% say Ben is a friend, a good friend, a great dude. He also is very knowledgeable and gives me advice on shit when it comes to Devo. And vice versa. I kind of help him a little bit with marketing stuff with the knives. So it's been a pleasure to get to know Ben, and his knives are amazing. And it was just really, really cool to see him have knives to sell this year at Blade Show. After what he went through getting the knives, you know, the whole Riot situation, and then finding a new OEM, and honestly, a better one. It just was awesome that he had knives to sell, and he sold them. He did great. So, love you, buddy. That was awesome. You know, I got to see Vero, so talked to Joseph for a little while. Great guy, as always. Fantastic dude. And he's, of course, still just crushing it. So really, really happy for him. I got to talk to Brian Brown for a little bit. The dude never remembers me. So, like, I'll talk to him again next year, and he'll fucking be like, who's this guy? So I did get to handle Jaegers, and they were good. So if you ordered one, it's on the way. You're good. It was better than I remembered. So that's a good thing. Fanatic Edge, got to hang out over at Fanatic Edge. Since I'm carrying it, I'll show you. I picked this up. Maverick S from Christensen Knife Works. Shout out to Matt Christensen. I have 2 of these on pre-order, and I bought a third one because this one just, oh my God. Camo carbon, Zircuti, clip, backspacer, studs, everything. Acid wash blade, liner lock, which it has a little bit of stick. I gotta either take it apart. I gotta take it apart and see, or I gotta hit up Fanatic Edge and see if they have one I can swap. But it didn't have this stick there because I tested like 3 of them before I grabbed one. So it could just be the weather. I mean, it's crazy changing weather, or there's oil on it. So we'll see. The guy's cool. So worst case, he probably knows how to fix it. So, but I wanted the liner lock, and then the fat carbon just put it over the top. I mean, I would have ordered this one if I knew. But I got my Carta liner lock on pre-order with satin blade, and then I got a frame lock, titanium frame lock with all Zircuti. So I got like 3 of these. I'll definitely be selling a couple. So if you need one, let me know. I got you. You just can't have this one because I was thinking maybe of putting the satin on here. but it would be satin with, I don't want to swap the studs. That would be a pain. Satin with Zerk accents on the studs. I don't know. That wouldn't be the end of the world. Still look cool, but I don't think the blade from the frame lock would fit on here. I'm guessing the lockup would be a little bit different, right? Because it's a frame lock. I don't know. We'll see. But I picked this up, and the guy at Fanatic Edge is cool. Afterward, he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, dude, I still needed to send you one of the what's their knife? The Omen V2." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up at the table. Like that would have been weird." And if you don't recognize me, you don't recognize me. Like I'm not gonna be like, "Yo, I'm that guy, Lefty." Feel weird doing that. So, guys, this is gonna be on the short list, I think, of knives of the year this year. The Factor, this, probably the Mini Tempest. This thing is steaming hot magma. Like it's just so good in hand. If you could see the hollow grind on this, like if you could feel it, like just look here. Just look at the tip when it's closed, if you can in this fucking camera. Just look at how thin that is. Like it's just stupid. The grind is amazing. This is going to be a really good knife for me. So I got 3 of them. Love it. Definitely need to take it apart though. That's one thing I would say. My biggest gripe with the knife so far is lock bar access. It just needs a little more access here. So then you could get in there a little easier and probably wouldn't even notice the stick. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the angle you're at that makes it, I don't know. But there could be something in there. We'll see. Plus, never hurts to put skiffs in a knife. Let's see. Israel from Arcane Design was there. So I got to pick up my Abyss in person. I had that on pre-order, so I picked that up. Great dude. Always a pleasure to talk to Israel. If you're watching, dude, you're just great dude. Really, really great dude. And I always enjoy my conversations with him. We talked about Elijah Isham a little bit, which was, a little bittersweet. But I knew he had a good relationship with him. So I was just curious what's going to happen in the future with him and his, but Israel is working with other people on it. And it looks like they're trying to do something to keep Israel, to keep Elijah's, his work and all of that stuff alive, so to speak. So that's really, really cool stuff. I don't know more than that. I don't want to, but just know that there's amazing people out there. And if you leave a good impression on people, you'd be surprised what they will do for you once you're gone, even. So really cool stuff. So many other people, guys. I mean, Oz from Oz Machine Company. I ran into him in the elevator at my hotel Thursday night. I got in the elevator and there was already people in there, and he's like, "Hey, man," and I'm like, I look over, I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, dude, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "How's it going? I just wanted to say hi." And you've done a lot of videos on the Rosie, and I've talked to him a couple of times, and I was like, "Sweet, dude, like he fucking recognized me. That was cool." That was one of those moments where I was like, "Sweet." I love the Rosie guys. I was tempted to try to get another one, but I just had a second one, and I sold it to Jake recently, and I just am not good at having multiples. Like this one, it was because I got my Carta one because that's the one I wanted because it was the only liner lock one available, right? So I got that on pre-order. Then my buddy Ev was like pimping the Maverick for like a couple weeks. He was just all over. I don't know why, but he was like trying to sell the pre-orders because I think Christensen just had a bunch left. And so I bought another one with all Zerkutai frame lock. But then I'm at the show and I'm like, this one's perfect for me as a lefty. So I bought a third one. But I'm going to sell at least 2. And I'm probably going to keep this one as long as I can get it dialed in. I'll get it dialed in. So like, I'm just not good at multiples because what happens is I'll get 2 and then I have to choose between the 2 to carry. And then I can't choose. So then I just don't carry one at all. So then I just don't carry that knife. So I sold the other Rosie because I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to, that way I'll carry this one. And this is my baby. Like, this is the one I love, right? This is the one I got originally. It's got the really cool green accents, Zircuti on the clip and the backspacer. I guess the backspacer is just titanium, so it's just the clip. Stonewash blade. It's Zefinite, but that's perfect for me. Great action. I had this one tuned up by Daniel. So it's just the perfect Rosie for me. Like, the only thing that would be better is maybe if these accents were blue. But I also like green. Like, it brings out the color of my eyes. So anyway, I meant green. But yeah, love it. I went to Benchmade. I was like, fuck it. Let's see what Benchmade's got. I wanted to handle the tagged out. Fuck me running. They got some good shit. So the tagged out is the one that's kind of like the bug out, but it's a clip point. So it's kind of like the Crooked River meets the bug out, okay? Has a hole for deployment, axis lock, whatever. Dude, it fires out. It has a detent, or the placement of the hole is perfect because when you flick it, it fucking pops. Like, that's my biggest issue with any axis lock knife is you just can't get a really good, flick on it. So it's awesome. It's really lightweight. So, and it's a clip point. So yeah, it's not perfect for me. But if you guys are wondering about that knife and you're interested in the aesthetic, it's a home run, guys. It's lighter than the bug out, I think, too. Action was drop shot, flicked like a beast. Like, not kidding. It was amazing. Then somebody was like, yo, check out the shoot. Oh, it was Levon. I got to meet Levon from Knife Nuts. He's actually local to me. It's so funny. He lives like 30 minutes away. I've never met the guy. And he came over to the booth at one point, table, whatever. And then I saw him at Benchmade as well. He's like, have you checked out the shootout? I'm like, no. And he hands it to me. So shout out to Levon. Great dude. If you guys watch the Knife Nuts podcast, I've been watching it since I kind of like started talking to him a little bit. I wasn't that aware of or into it before. You ever like, I'm weird like that. You ever like see something and you kind of are like, I don't think I'd like those guys. So then you don't like those guys. And that's kind of how I was with Knife Nuts. I was like, I don't know. That guy kind of looks like a douche. So I'm like, and I'm listening to the podcast. I'm like, So I just didn't, But then I started to talk to Levon, and the dude's awesome. I think he actually says Levon. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. And the dude's amazing. He's a really, really nice guy. He's really cool. Very helpful too. He gave me a lot of feedback on the stout. Like, he wasn't afraid to just give me feedback. And I feel like that's a thing these days. People are all pussies and they won't tell you what they think. If you're into not that, watch my channel because I don't hold back. And I appreciate that when other people do it because it actually helps you. It's called constructive criticism. Just being an asshole is one thing, right? But giving constructive criticism is another. And Levon is really good at that. And he's just a good dude. Anyway, so shout out to you, dude. He also had some sick fucking knives on him too. He's like, check this out, check this out, check this out. He had a fucking Batman knife. Like, what? It was crazy. So he hands me this knife called the Shootout. It's an OTF. And it's really fucking good. It's lightweight and it fires. And they did the button in a way that it has like it's like contoured and then it swoops up. So your thumb is pushing against like a ridge, right? Which makes perfect sense. So your thumb doesn't you don't have to like shove your thumb into just the jimping and try to like get this hard ass spring microtech to fire out. You have a solid surface to push against and it just pops out. And then when you pull back, your thumb's pulling down on that surface, sucks in, and it was firing. It wasn't weak in any way. They killed it with that. The guy told me some story about how the shootout saved a guy last week or something. It was a good marketing story. So yeah, Benchmade was cool. I went to a lot of booths, talked to a lot of people, guys. It was a lot, but it was fun. It was a blast. I got to hang out with people. I met a lot of people in the pit as well. Just overall, an extraordinary experience. I ran into Jared Nee, Beast Blade, Stevie Wonder Woman, Lindy and Richie. I always say Richie and Lindy. Litchie and Lindy. Litchie and Randy. Rindy and Litchie. Where are Rindy and Litchie at? The knife modders are as amazing in person as they are on camera. Absolutely love those guys. We hung out at the pit for a little while, and they came to our table a few times. I actually bought a Wii knife. Oh, I should tell you that story. Sold it to them the next day. And they're just great people. Met Brian from Transparent Knives, also a great dude. Anthony from TED. Is it TED? Something Everyday Dad. Tactical Everyday Dad, I think it is. Sorry. He sells fixed blades and shit. He had a great little table set up. It was really nice. Shout out to you. So many fucking people. Screaming Pirate, Old Man Bob Poncho. A lot of people. So the Wii. This is the funny story. Friday, Blade Show starts, and people are coming by. We're having a great time, and there's a little bit of a lull, and I'm like, you know what? I might go walk around. And somebody comes over. I think it was Stevie. Yeah, it was Stevie. Stevie Wonder Woman. He comes over, and he's like, check it out. And he hands me 2 knives he got. Of course, they're Ferrum Forged designs because it's Stevie. He hands me the button lock Malice, the mini Malice from Wii, and it had a D10. It was really good. It flicked out, dropped shut, titanium contoured scales, fantastic ergos. I mean, it was a little small, but it fit my hand in the choked up grip really well. And I'm like, damn, I got to get one of these, right? First, I'm at Blade Show 2022 on day 1. Haven't bought anything. And the first thing I want to do is buy a Wii knife. The irony in that for me is astounding because I talk shit, constructive criticism, but talk shit about Wii all the time. Their detents are all over the place. That's really my biggest gripe. Their designs are, never really for me. Always with the budget clip on stuff. You guys watch my channel, And the first thing I wanted to do was go buy one. It was just so I run over there and I go, hey, because Stevie says they don't have the blue anymore. They're down to like the raw tie and a black one. I'm like, fuck, I wanted the blue, right? So I run over there and Kyle's there. He's the dude who got mauled he didn't get mauled by a cougar. He almost got mauled by a cougar. I recently watched the whole video because I was like catching up on Zach's channel. And he walked for like miles with this mountain lion following him and somehow didn't trip over rocks. And he said every time he bent over to like kind of grab a rock for defense, the mountain lion would start jumping and pouncing at him. And then he'd stop and start walking again and it would calm down. It was crazy. Anyway, he's there. And I'm like, oh, you got the mini Malice? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you got any blue ones left? And he's like, yeah. And he grabbed, I'm like, yes. And then my eyes behold the new Snex design. And I'm like, what? You have the Snex knife here? The Vision? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you selling them? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you got that in blue? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, what do I owe you? So I get the mini Malice and the Snex. My first purchases of Blade Show. Like, what? And funny story is, you guys might know this, Venmo, PayPal, they hate me. They hate me ever since the Knife Whisperer put a note in there that said, thanks for the blowjob. So every time the last few months I try to pay somebody with Venmo, does not work. Declines me, whatever. I can use my debit card. I can use my credit card. Doesn't matter. It just declines me every fucking time. It's so annoying. So I have to have my friends pay people and shit. It's a nightmare. Then I have to use Zelle to pay them back. And so, of course, at Kyle's like, yeah, we can take Venmo or PayPal or cash. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, all right, give me your Venmo. I'll give it a shot. So he's like, here's, and he gives me Seth. He's the guy he's the marketing guy for Wii. He gives me his Venmo, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to send $555 off because they were only $250. No, it was $505, sorry. $250 for the Malice, $255 for the SNES, or vice versa. Pretty good price. So I got $505, sent it to Seth. It worked. It was like a miracle. My Venmo worked. And it worked the whole show. I paid CWF lights. I paid Colin a couple times because we, sold shit and had to figure stuff out. I paid my buddy Joe for stuff. Like, Venmo worked. I bet you now it won't work again, but fuck it. It worked for the show. So I got a couple of Wii knives. I got an artisan knife. I got a TRM knife. Marianne's wonderful, but she wasn't there when I was there. I got an HEA Designs knife. I got my Abyss. I actually got a CRKT, interestingly enough. I'll tell you that story in a video. Somebody handed me a custom Lefty to review. There's probably more in here. I can't remember. And I got the Maverick. So, anyway, I'll do a desktop video in a second with all those. So, that's really it, guys. I had a blast at Blade Show. It was fun. Oh, also, a lot of people came by to do, like, interviews or whatever, sort of, like, go over the knives. So, like, Cole from Tri-State, Knives Fast came by, a Therapeutic Edge Women Carry Knives, DCS Daily Carry Solutions, Carlos, and Outer Limitless. Eric came by and did one. I got to meet Lee from Love Them Knives. That was cool. There was others, and it was funny. Like, day one, I did like 3 of those interview things. Day 2, every time I left, somebody came over. So, like, I would leave to go, look around and buy something. I'd be gone for like 10 minutes. Go get Chick-fil-A, go, take a shit, and not take a shit, take a piss, right? And that's always when somebody came by. And Colin would be like, hey, what's his name was here? And he was looking for you. And I'm like, damn it. Like, obviously I wanted to do as much of that as I could to market the stuff. Colin filled in for a lot of it, which was nice. But like day 1, Tri-State came by twice. And I was gone both times because I just had left for 10 minutes. So he filmed his little segment with Colin. So it was just funny how that happened every time. Stevie came by day 3, and I had already left to drive home. But the ones I did was fun, and it's always a blast to just hang out with everybody. So I'm going to shut up now. This was long enough, an hour and 8 minutes. So I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Next year, if you come or if you go to Blade West or whatever, come find me. I really had a blast meeting all of you. That's another thing. I don't know if I said this earlier, but everybody who came by the booth, everybody who, was checking the knives out or recognized me when I was walking around or whatever, it was so much fun to talk to you guys. It really, really was. I appreciate the support so much. The fact that anybody recognizes me in public, this was at a knife show, obviously, was so cool. You know what I mean? It's just very humbling. And, of course, I recognized a million people, too, and said hi to them. It's the way you do it, Don't be shy about it. We want to meet people. It's the way it is. It was awesome to talk to everybody and get their feedback on the growler and the mash. And, just hang out. Knife people. It was great. Really was. There was one. I'll give you. Let's talk about T-shirts real quick. Best T-shirt of the show, right? So, A couple people had my first knife fight shirt, which is hilarious, like a Halloween shirt with little kids stabbing each other, or of course, there was the Medford shirt that everybody's talking about. Now, listen, that was a marketing ploy, and it's working because people are talking about it. So just stop talking about it. Don't be offended. Don't talk about it, because you're just going to give him free marketing to the douchebags who listen to that shit. That's all it was a marketing ploy. He said he handed out thousands of them, okay? Let me tell you something. I didn't see a single fucking shirt. I didn't see that shirt one fucking time. I walked around the entire Blade Show a bunch of times. I stayed at my table for 9 hours a day for 3 straight days. I never saw that fucking shirt. He handed that out as a marketing ploy. He handed that out so that people would talk about it on Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, and give him shit because it gets him marketing with the other people. That's all it was. Then he put up a response video on his YouTube that he already took down, where he cried like a fucking baby and just fucking gave everybody shit, cursed at her. He sounded like a fucking toddler, like I do right now, but like 10 times worse. No one had the balls to wear that fucking shirt. So don't worry about it. He just handed them out, looked like an idiot, got his free marketing, not free marketing, he paid for the shirts, got his marketing. Don't talk about it. You're going to, like I'm doing it right now. Don't bring awareness to it. That's just helping him. Just ignoring Greg Medford is the best thing you can do to not help Greg Medford. Does that make sense? No one had the balls to wear that shirt. Is a bottom line. No one. So I love you guys. Truly and dearly love you all. I appreciate the support so much. I really do. Hopefully I get my voice back soon. It was a pleasure meeting you all. To all of my really good friends that I met there, it was a blast, guys. To the people that I hope come next year or to the next one, I really wish you could make it, because it was just a pleasure. It really was. So hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.